Welcome back to BT. I love these parent conversations because one of the most powerful things a parent can do is teach their child to trust themselves. But most parents, including me, unknowingly, sometimes we do the opposite.
Here to share how we can teach our kids to trust themselves is parenting expert, founder of Unshakable Parenting, Vivian Maraki. It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
Now, you're a proud parent of 2 little ones, and you're going to talk about, you have this system. So there's 4 different points, a framework, that you say helps build self-trust in children. So what does that 4-stage framework look like?
Yeah, so part of the reason I developed this framework is because so many parents weren't taught how to build self-trust in their kids. And so it's consisting of 4 different things that are progressive. So the first level is about body trust, that I can trust what I feel in my body, like if I'm hurt, my wellness, sickness, things like that. Second level and second block is emotions, that I can trust what I'm feeling. And then the third level is I can trust my decisions and my actions, that I can trust that they're right for me, even if they're not perfect. And the last one is self-efficacy, which is I can trust what feels meaningful to me so that I start pursuing my purpose later in life.
Let's get into some phrases that we hear a lot, that I've probably said before. Be brave. You're fine.
Yeah.
Stop crying. What does this, what are we teaching our kids if we're always saying this to them?
I mean, those things are all really well-intentioned because we want our child to feel better, but at the heart of it, what's happening is that you're asking them to override their feelings. You're basically suggesting that what you're feeling is wrong. So instead, what I suggest is actually staying with them and help them explore those feelings. So instead of be brave, something like, I can see how anxious you are right now. Something, you know, like what we're doing right now, it's new, it's hard, but you are so courageous and I've seen you do hard things before. So I know you can do it. What do you need to support you?
And validate them, because I know as a kid I was so afraid of everything. And whenever somebody would say, they don't exist, don't be afraid, ghosts don't exist, it didn't help me, because to me, in my little brain, it was very, very real. So to talk through those feelings instead, right? You also say parents are unknowingly training their children to distrust themselves every day through these little interactions at mealtime, school drop-off, and social situations.
Yeah, so these ones are really tough because they are in those micro moments of the day-to-day. So at mealtime, a common one is we say, oh, you're not full. You can't possibly be full. Finish your plate. Now, it's well-meaning and recognizing that sometimes your child wants to run away and play and I'm full, right? Like, we know that. So it's really use your discretion, but instead teaching them to recognize the signs of what fullness feels like and then trusting them to really allow them to know that they can trust themselves in their fullness. Social interactions and physical boundaries is another really common one, where you might say, okay, go hug your Aunt Agnes goodbye, or give you know, your grandpa a kiss, but perhaps your child doesn't feel comfortable. And what you're doing in that moment is you're asking them to override their feeling of discomfort in favor of appeasing an adult or the adult's comfort. And that's a slippery slope, because that's actually how grooming can happen in situations, on, you know, obviously the more extreme end of things. So we don't want to do that.
How do we get into where always the discussion of, well, you don't want to be your parent, your child's friend, you still are their parent. Where's the happy medium with some of these and then going down that road or that path? Yeah,
so, you know, to talk about that, there's actually a framework and a lot of research that's been done around parenting styles. And there's 4 major parenting styles. And if you think about them on 2 quadrants, one is in terms of expectations, low to high. The other one is in terms of attunement to your child, low to high. And out of the 4 different types, what I can say is there's one type that's the most effective. And what that is you're attuning to your child and you're holding the structure and boundaries around the expectations. So the way to get away from being the friend is not by giving up what your expectations and your boundaries might be. That leans into more of what they call permissive parenting. And instead, you want to lean into holding that boundary, knowing what's right for you, what is that bottom line, but giving them options in the meantime. So it might be something instead of, you know, oh, like, it's okay, you don't have to clean up your room. It might be, we're going to clean up your room, but you get to choose when and you get to choose how. So giving them those options and empowering them that
choices.
way.
You say it could even be little things. What are some shifts parents can make? Like, you can pick your toothbrush if they don't like brushing their teeth, stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's actually some, you know, 3 really simple things that parents can do. One is teaching your child to really feel and sense their feelings and what's right for them at the body level. So what's coming up for you? The second is really leaning into the connection that you want to build with your child, not trying to fix it. And the last one is what you mentioned already, which is giving them choices in those micro moments. Instead of telling them what to do, giving them the options, because sometimes we can actually overmanage or micromanage them, getting them ready in the morning, here's the clothes you're going to wear, here's the breakfast you're going to eat, let's go. But, you know, obviously when we're in a rush, that might not always work out, but giving more space and then planning in advance so that you've got the time to do that can really help a lot.
What's the age? What age are we talking here? Like, when does this come to an end?
I would say that that's early. I mean, it looks different depending on the age, so obviously you have to adjust, right? But I'd say it actually starts as early as, you know, like 18 months to 2 years old, when your child is starting to exert their independence and can actually communicate with you in their way, all the way probably up to around 12, 13. And then obviously when they become a teenager, the strategies start to shift, but the foundation's still there.
I was going to say, what if they're stubborn and it's I'm going to go to school in my shorts and my T-shirt, but it's cold outside? Do you lay down the law as the parent, or do you let them go outside and get cold?
Yeah, well, I mean, in our household, that has happened. My body is very different from theirs. We talk about that. But also, you know, in the event that you get really cold, you will not have a backup, so bring the backup. Yeah, and then there's instances where they get sick, and it's like, oh, how do we think that happened?
Right. Teachable moment.
Teachable moments.
Life lesson.
Yeah.
Where do we get more information, Vivian? It's always so great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so people can follow me on Instagram at Vivian Maraki, and also my website, vivianmaraki.com.
Great tips. Are we changing anything, Papa Tim?
There might be conversations.
Little conversations tonight?
Perhaps.
Okay, that's good. That's where it all starts, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more VT right after this. It's true, though, because it's like, as a parent, you need more.
Yeah.